What is up? Schwing Dynasty coming to you guys with a little look back at last year's rookie draft that we had. Kind of go through the picks a little bit. I'm not going to give grades necessarily, but I'll give feedback on each pick and kind of the overall team look back here in my classroom on a little bit of lunch break right now. Probably won't get this uploaded. Well, by the time you're watching, it'll be uploaded, so I don't need to tell you about that. But yeah, I was talking to my brother last night for you guys, Adam, and talking about the fab budget. And I think next year, what we'd be looking at probably doing, I don't think there's any point to having a separate fab budget before and after the rookie draft. They're kind of inconsequential additions at that point. I jokingly added Blake Jarwin for like $50 because I knew that I'd be resetting it at the draft. I've since dropped Blake Jarwin. So it's just kind of like a time to be stupid with picks, and it's not necessary. So I think next year, after our season, once I hit the league refresh, so when your resets to the beginning of the next league year, that will be the off-season budget until the start of the regular season. So I only want to have two budgets. I want to have off-season budget, which will include everything from the when I open up free agency and trades and stuff again, which I've done traditionally about December. And then this year, we're resetting after our rookie draft. There will be a lockdown in the days leading up to the rookie draft where I will stop all activity and I will reset the fab to 100 each. And then once we do our rookie draft, people will have 2 days potentially to make their drops, get their taxi squad set up, get their team set up so that if you're over that limit, if you have too many players, or if there's anyone that's on IR that can't be on IR, you won't be able to add. So you need to make sure your team is set up and ready to go, because there will be some rookies, just like last year when Josh Kelly got added in a bidding war. Van Jefferson got added after the draft. Jalen Hurts got added after the draft. Even Jordan Love got added after the draft. So, some of those players, there will be a little spending spree on some players, and I've already got some in my mind, some guys that I'm like, okay, he's probably not going in our rookie draft, but he's a guy that I'm interested in once the rookie draft is over. So you're going to want to make sure you're in on that spending spree. So we have our off-season budget that will be right after the rookie draft up until the first week of games. After our free agent draft that we have so many activities in this league. I love it. And then I will reset the regular season. Okay. Next year, that whole thing from February till September, that will be one budget. So no more silly spending, Sean and me, in February or March just to add players with silly names or old retired players for $5, something like that. You're going to have to be more careful. So we'll have one off-season budget. I will probably close down free agency for longer next year, and I may just open it up after the rookie draft, kind of have an extended off-season. Obviously, we'll do videos from Schwing headquarters in Medford, Oregon. That's where I'll be setting that up. But that way it simplifies it that there's not three different budgets, because right now I'm about to reset the fab budget, and it doesn't really make sense. So just so you know, I will be resetting the fab budget, and after our, remember that's free agent auction bids, acquisition bidding, free agent acquisition bidding, I believe, or something like that, or budget. Fab budget is B for bids or budgets. I don't really know. Anyways, it could be like an RBI type of thing, or whatever. Yeah. So we will reset it after the draft for our off-season kind of rookie spending fest. That's also where Phil picked up Big Ben for so much money last year, was during that, because someone dropped Big Ben after the rookie draft. He was dropped, and Phil picked him up for like $80. So you want to make sure your roster is in order at that point. That's probably loud. I'm probably distracting you guys with that paper sound there. You'll want to make sure that your team is set up so that you are allowed to add players, and I will let you know when that begins. Okay, on to last year's review. So first off, I think it'd be beneficial to hear in order the main positions and how they finished last year as rookies. Okay, so we'll start with quarterback. There were four rookie quarterbacks who made an impact, and they are Justin Herbert, 420 points, go Ducks, in 15 games. That was number 10 overall quarterback. So Justin Herbert, taken by, I believe, was it Lucas? Yes, Lucas at the end of round 2, after Joe Burrow, after Tua went, and he was the number 1 in 15 games, 420 points. Joe Burrow played in 10 games, and scored about half, 222 points to Herbert's 420. So even if Joe Burrow had played 15 games, he is not getting to Herbert's level, not even close. That's how good Herbert was last year. In 9 games, Tua Tagovailoa scored 173 points. So he was the number 3 rookie quarterback by points, not by points per week, because number 3, possibly actually number 1 by points per week would be Jalen Hurts, Sean. Jalen Hurts with 145 points in 5 games. That is an average of, actually no, he would still be behind Herbert in points per game. That's an average of about 30 points per game, almost 30 points per game for Jalen Hurts. Meanwhile, Herbert averaged, this can't, oh, okay, sorry, I was looking at his ranking. So Herbert at 420, so 42. Take another chunk off of that. They're pretty similar, actually. Herbert and Jalen Hurts are pretty similar in points per game played. So Herbert ends as quarterback 10 on the season. Burrow is quarterback 25, despite missing games. Good, still good. Tua ends up at the quarterback 32 in 9 games, and Jalen Hurts ends up at the quarterback 35 in 5 games. So Jacob Eason is also on this list as a quarterback from that class that's still, maybe not still on the team, but he was there. All right, so now up is the running back class. So Jonathan Taylor, stud, number 1. He ended up with 312.4. There's something wrong here. 312.8 points to be the number 5 running back in our league. James Robinson was right after him with 312.4 points for the 6th quarterback overall in our league. So those guys did good. They are the 1 and 2 rookie running backs last year, Jonathan Taylor and James Robinson. Then Antonio Gibson, number 3 for the rookies. Probably be surprising if you just heard that straight up, but he's number 3 for the rookies, 248 points in 15 games. That's not true. 248 points makes him the number 15 running back. I didn't put games for the running backs. After Antonio Gibson comes DeAndre Swift with 222 points for number 19 overall running back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, our number 1 pick last year, comes in with 221 points, 1 point behind DeAndre Swift, who was the number 2 running back for the 20th overall running back finishing. J.K. Dobbins at number 6 with 202 points. Then Cam Akers, which was really very limited, but he got up there to 140 points, the 43rd overall running back on very limited plays. Zach Moss, then Josh Kelly, then Salvin Ahmed with 87 points. Michael Pirine, 69. DJ Dallas, Lynn Bowden Jr., A.J. Dillon, Rodney Smith, then Keyshawn Vaughn, the number 98 overall running back with 31 total points in the season, and Anthony McFarland. So some guys that were not drafted on that list for us: Josh Kelly, Salvin Ahmed, Lynn Bowden, Rodney Smith, all beat Keyshawn Vaughn and Anthony McFarland, who were drafted for us. So the running backs ended up very interesting. And they're going to be hard because some of them I'm going to do it. We'll get to it. Don't you worry. I'm going to get to my overall ranking for the top 30 rookies this year based on their points this year plus outlook. So some of them may be lower in points this year, but the outlook is better. So I will get to that in just a second. Last up, Two more, wide receiver and tight end. For wide receivers, the order goes Justin Jefferson with 274 points, CeeDee Lamb with 230 points, Chase Claypool with 219, T. Higgins with 197, Brandon Ayuk with 187, Laviska with 161. Then it goes Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney, a little surprising there, Darnell Mooney, Gabriel Davis before Michael Pittman, Henry Ruggs, KJ Hamler, Jalen Reagor, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Quintus Cephas before Denzel Mims. So that's the order we got there for wide receivers. A little surprising again. And then tight end, really pathetic, really horrible. The rookie, this is what you guys need to, if you don't play a lot of fantasy football, just know rookie tight ends, they do not produce on the rig. They don't. Harrison Bryant with 65 points, Cole Kmet with 64 points, and Adam Troutman with 38 points. Harrison Bryant, the leader in the clubhouse there, as the 41st overall tight end. It's a hard position to learn in the NFL, boys. So that's what we have. Now, I put together my top 30, basically in order, sort of like the power rankings, where I would draft them if it was just purely best available for our impact, our future. And it goes like this. I've got Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, James Robinson was a hard one because if you ask me after the draft, he could drop way down. But as of now, I've got James Robinson at 3 still. So Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, James Robinson at 3. Number 4, Antonio Gibson. Number 5, CeeDee Lamb. Number 6, Justin Herbert, coming in as first quarterback there. Number 7, Cam Akers. Does that mean I would ever take Justin Herbert over Cam Akers? I don't know, but he's young and he's going to score points for your team for a long time. Justin Herbert will. Then DeAndre Swift. The running backs were a little hard here for me. Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift, and CEH at number 9. Controversial? Maybe. I don't know. Then comes T. Higgins and Chase Claypool. Then J.K. Dobbins. It's all about the Ravens and Lamar taking away those touchdowns. Number 13, Laviska. Number 14, Joe Burrow. Number 15, Jerry Jeudy. Easily could have been higher up on this list. 16, Brandon Ayuk. Easily could have been higher up on this list. Then number 17, Pittman. Then Reagor. Then Gabriel Davis. Then Jalen Hurts. Then Darnell Mooney. Then Mims. Denzel Mims. KJ Hamler. Henry Ruggs all the way at 24 for me. Tua at 25. Cole Kmet at 26. Zach Moss at 27. Josh Kelly at 28. Adam Troutman at 29. And A.J. Dillon at number 30. Those are my top 30 rookies from last year. And as you can imagine, they are the way I did this list in order to say these are the 30 players I'm going to be drafting today. I got rid of a bunch of the other guys off that list, guys that I was like, there's no need to draft this person. You can pick them up for free agency. So that's my top 30. That's how I went through this. Then I looked at your guys's and my own needs before last draft. I tried to remember who you had added. I realized later that I did not put down Phil as needing a tight end, but he did not have TJ Hawkinson at this time. He picked him up in the free agency draft. So some of them are a little off, but I said for me, I wanted a wide receiver and then running back was secondary. Bert, wide receiver and running back. Phil, wide receiver and running back. I promise they're not all the same. Lucas, I said in order: running back, tight end, wide receiver. This is before he got my guy, Johnny Smith, the guy that I traded to him. So this is before his Johnny Smith pick. He did take a quarterback in this draft. So I wrote that off to the side. QB was his pick, but I said for him, running back, tight end, wide receiver. For JD, best available. He did take a QB and a tight end, which probably hurt JD's roster construction a lot right now. But he did pick a QB and tight end. Daryl, I said wide receiver, running back. That's what I thought he needed in that order. Mark, tight end, which is, I don't know why I said that because he's got Dallas Goedert, and I didn't draft a tight end for him, so I think maybe I wrote that down. I did not want to write that down. Running back, wide receiver. Adam, best available player. Sean, best available player, meaning I would write best available for a person who either their team is like good, like Steve, I almost wrote best available because his team was set up, or a team that just needs a lot of pieces all over the place, and that was Adam and Sean last year. And then Steve, running back, wide receiver depth, and I said he did pick a QB. So there's the team needs that I had. You can argue with them if you want, but it's what I saw when I looked at your rosters and tried to think back to last year and who you had. So here we go. Round 1 of the 2020 Schwing Dynasty rookie draft. Pick number 1, the 101, went to Sean. He picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know, it's not like the guy was bad. He was the number 20 overall running back. That's not great, but it's a running back 2, and it's not a bad position to pick, but it's certainly not Jonathan Taylor and his impact as being the number 5 overall running back in the Schwing Dynasty last year. So Jonathan Taylor comes through, is the number 5 overall running back, is only looking to probably increase that this year. He could be a top 5 pick for the next few years. That's who Sean gets. And the good news for Sean, he already had him anyways. He got him at the number 4 pick later in that same draft. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, good pick, no problem there. But Sean's lucky. He also had he made those trades. He was fortunate that he had that number 4 pick, took Jonathan Taylor there, and really Phil could have had him, Adam could have had him, and they went in other directions, which stings for them. But they could not have seen Marlon Mack getting hurt coming. So, they went in different directions, but that is the correct number 1 pick, in my opinion, is Jonathan Taylor to Sean. Number 102, Phil McCauley took DeAndre Swift, another good running back, should be in a really good situation this year. He did not produce to the same level as some of these other guys his first year, and there's always going to be questions about how good Detroit is going to be and how good that will allow his running backs to be. Plus, Phil is going to get Justin Jefferson. He's going to get the Minnesota Vikings guy. That's who I'm putting here. Phil did a really good job drafting Justin Jefferson at the 202 in our draft last year. He would not be there anymore this year, and this guy is going to be a stud wide receiver for 10 years on Phil's team, and it's on his favorite team. So Justin Jefferson, easy number 2 pick for me. Now, this one was a little difficult. Adam, he took CeeDee Lamb, a really good pick, the number 2 rookie wide receiver, number 18 overall wide receiver. I thought about just leaving him there, but when I look at Adam's team, I thought, you know what? Let's get him the number 6 overall running back, James Robinson, assuming that he is the workhorse again in Jacksonville this year. So Adam needs those points. CeeDee Lamb is good. He's on a very crowded receiving group. I could see him taking over for Amari Cooper there and being the number 1, but it's not going to happen right away, and they are a very good tandem together. I think it's going to be Michael Gallup that really gets hurt by that. But James Robinson should be the guy again. He should be if they're smart. If they don't go and waste draft capital on a running back, which I don't think they should, Adam would be very happy with this pick. Now, maybe Adam would disagree with that, and that's why I said some guys might be happier with their original draft than with this draft, but when the guys that you happen to get at the end of round 2 are no longer there at the end of round 2, your team might get a little bit weaker, but I think James Robinson is a stud. I think he's very good, and he was on a very bad team, and so that's good. That bodes well for his future. So that's who Adam gets here. He gets James Robinson. Sean originally took JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas here, at the number 4 spot. He no longer has to do that because he got him at the 1 spot, and he's not going to flip and take CEH here. He is going to take Antonio Gibson here. Antonio Gibson was really, really gently inserted into the lineup. They gave way too many pass catching opportunities to J.D. McKissic because Ryan Fitzpatrick was not their quarterback. It was Alex Smith, who loves to dump off, who needed the extra protection from a guy who'd been in the league, and they gave Antonio Gibson a very gentle entry into the NFL, and he ended up the season with a little turf toe. The guy had never been a workhorse running back before. He is big, though. He's a big guy. I mean, he's 220 pounds, and he runs the way he does, and he catches the way he does. I love him. Bert knows I love him. When I finally made that trade, Bert was like, I knew you were coming for Antonio Gibson because I've been trying over and over again. He got 248 points last year. He was the number 15 overall running back in our league as a rookie, and on a team where he was not the workhorse yet. And I feel like that's coming for Antonio Gibson. So Sean, in our new draft, would line up JTT and Antonio Gibson. side by side and be like, yeah, here I come. Here comes my runners. Good luck. So that's what we end up with here. Now, next pick is the 105 of last year was Bert. Bert had the 105 here. And he took J.K. Dobbins. Again, another good player, but I just worry about J.K. Dobbins and how many touchdowns the guy, he is great. He's an excellent running back, and I wish he did not have Lamar Jackson there with him because that guy is going to poach touchdowns in the red zone. And so J.K. Dobbins, while he's awesome and will be very good and really could be a top 5 running back any year, it's going to be dependent on whether he gets those touchdowns because he will be great within the 20s. Inside the 20s, he'll be awesome. So instead of that, I'm pivoting from there for Bert, and I'm going with CeeDee Lamb. Bert needs some receivers. He did not have Robert Woods by this point. He made that trade later. And I'm giving Bert the number 2 rookie receiver at the 5th overall pick, and I'm giving him CeeDee Lamb, absolute stud who was great with Dak Prescott. Took a drop when Dak Prescott, like that whole team, took a drop when Dak Prescott was hurt. But I think there's big things ahead for CeeDee Lamb. I love him. I wish he was on the Niners. They should have picked him instead of whatever they did. So, whatever. Bert gets CeeDee Lamb now, and I think that's wonderful for him. Next up is Cali Style JD, who, this was Keyshawn Vaughn. And this is part of why I am worried about JD's roster for a while. Keyshawn Vaughn was the pick here, and he didn't even make it through the free agent cuts. He was cut, and Adam picked him up, I think Adam picked up Keyshawn Vaughn. So, JD, I wish we could have made that one better for you, buddy. But he took Keyshawn Vaughn, and now he gets, in this new draft, he gets Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This was between Clyde, Cam Akers, and DeAndre Swift for me. JD was going to get one of those. I actually have Clyde the lowest on my power rankings here between those guys, but I went with him because the sky is still the limit. I guess I think the sky is still the limit for Clyde. It was sort of a gut thing. Like, no, I gun to my head. I'm still taking Clyde. I mean, I love what Cam Akers is going to do. I really do, but I want that offense. I want to be part of that offense with my players, and I'm hoping year 2 will be a little bit of a upgrade in Clyde's touchdowns, because that's all he needs. He needs some touchdowns. He had bad touchdown luck. He had great yardage gained. He was still the number 20 running back this year. So he was higher than, he was one spot behind DeAndre Swift, and he was way ahead of Cam Akers, but it was Cam's end of the season that really made that difficult. But I did, JD, you got yourself a CEH now in this fictional world that I'm playing in right now. All right, next pick, and I'm going to go just a little bit faster after the first round, like the real draft, Next pick was Steve, the Baylor Broncos, who took Jerry Jeudy. I can understand it. It's his team. It's the Broncos. It's not happening now. Jerry Jeudy is stuck in a quagmire of an offense. Too many amazing pass catchers and Drew Lock. It's like a room full of like Playboy bunnies, and it's Pat. We don't know. We don't even know. Is It's Pat even capable of doing that job? We don't even know. That's Drew Lock. What is he? He's Pat. And so you got a room full of Playboy bunnies and Pat. And they're even like, it's the only show in town. Pat's here. Are you interested, Pat? We don't want to ask the question. It's a little awkward, but I think that's this problem here is we got tens all around, and then Pat throwing the ball. So hopefully Pat can, maybe Pat breaks out his package and shows them all that it's good enough for the job. But right now, Jerry Jeudy falls. So instead, Steve is going to get Cam Akers. Now, this won't help Steve a ton this year because Steve had when Cam Akers was breaking out at the end, I believe that Austin Eckler was already back. And but still, maybe Steve already won the title. So this is a future pick. This is like, okay, maybe Austin Eckler isn't the guy. Maybe, Derrick Henry is a big dude. Maybe he can't count on him too much longer. So he's got potentially a very, very good running back here in Cam Akers in a very, very good situation. So that's who you got now, Steve. Add Cam Akers to that list, and you might have another title this year. Next up was Oregon Beer Force. Mark took Zach Moss. Man, another one. Sorry, dude. Now, that's why he was in the Josh Jacobs market this year. Instead, he gets DeAndre Swift now. He gets at number 8, he gets what was our number 2 overall pick in the real rookie draft. DeAndre Swift did not need to fall this far, but it's the Detroit Lions' lack of belief, and DeAndre Swift falls this far, and Mark scoops him up and has a potentially fantastic running back. Really talented, catches the ball. He just plays for Detroit, and they're in a rebuild, and maybe that means they'll lean on him a lot, but they're going to be behind a lot, and they're going to need to throw the ball. So we'll see how DeAndre Swift plays into that. Next up, Adam. He got Cam Akers the first time. So this is another one. Adam, he had, before in the first round, he had CeeDee Lamb and Cam Akers. Instead, he got James Robinson, and now he's getting T. Higgins. And so he might not like that trade. He'd probably rather have Cam Akers and CeeDee Lamb, but the way the draft fell this time, he got a stud running back, and now he's getting T. Higgins, who I have T. Higgins. That's why I'm the T-bagger. And he got 197 points last year. He was the number 28 overall receiver. AJ Green still got like 130 targets last year, some crazy number like that. AJ Green's gone. And that doesn't all go to T. Higgins. That's not the way it ever works out. But some of them do. And Joe Burrow, after maybe week 1 of the season, should be back. If he's not back week 1, he'll be back early. And they were great together. T. Higgins was awesome with Joe Burrow, and I'm super pumped. Adam gets T. Higgins at the number 9, and now he's got James Robinson and T. Higgins. This is kind of the big debate for me. I would rather have, I think, James Robinson and T. Higgins because they're both number 1s on their team, in my opinion. Unless they draft Jamar Chase. I don't think they will. What do you guys think? CeeDee Lamb and Cam Akers? That sounds really good. Or James Robinson and T. Higgins? 2 that don't sound as awesome, but it's really close. It is. I honestly believe it's really close, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I would do if I was Adam there. All right, next up, I know what I'd do in this situation. I'm asking for trouble. Lucas. He had Henry Ruggs here, who now falls to the 3rd round, just a sneak peek in this draft. And now he's getting J.K. Dobbins, who Bert had taken at number 5 originally, and as I already spoke about him, great running back between the 20s. Will he get the touchdowns? He falls to number 10, and I think Lucas should be very happy to pair J.K. Dobbins with Christian McCaffrey. Lucas originally ended up with James Robinson in free agency, no longer. So now he needs that J.K. Dobbins to come in. Not going to be super as happy this year as he was with James Robinson, but it's a good future mix with Christian McCaffrey. And since CMC was out this year, Lucas was kind of floored anyways. His potential was floored. All right, next on to round 2. Kind of go through this a little bit quicker. Sean, instead of getting Jalen Reagor, he gets Chase Claypool. Okay, much better rookie season, and maybe a similar outlook, but a much better regular season. Maybe with that player, Sean is not in the toilet bowl again this year. Maybe he makes it to the playoffs. Phil originally took Justin Jefferson here, no longer. Instead, he gets Justin Herbert. So Justin and the Vikings and the Ducks. Then Phil does not need, well, he probably does end up spending a lot of money on Big Ben anyways, but Phil's got his quarterback of the future, no longer has to guess on Goff, Matt Ryan, and Big Ben, and fearing Ryan and Big Ben playing away from home. He's got his future quarterback for the next 12 years on his team, and it's a hometown favorite from Eugene hometown, not his real hometown. All right, me. I originally took T. Higgins here. Instead, I'm going Brandon Ayuk. Not as good of a player, not as good of a season, but once T. Higgins is off the board for me here, I'm taking the Niner. Daryl, A.J. Dillon, no more. That looked like an awesome pick until Aaron Jones re-signed. Now, Daryl's getting Jerry Jeudy. Okay, rough first year. Like I said, he's playing with It's Pat. In fact, God, I love that. That's It's Pat. That's the new. That's my new nickname for that guy, Drew Lock. It's Pat. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, Steve. It's Pat, the musical. playing in Denver tonight. All right, A.J. Dillon, no longer. Instead, Darrell gets Jerry Jeudy. I also thought about Jerry Jeudy for Sean at the 201 there, but I couldn't because Chase Claypool just had a better season, and I just, rather than going for the hometown, the favorite, the Bronco, I just went for the better season, if not better player. Hanoi James, he got Antonio Gibson here, a wonderful pick, great pick. Instead, he gets Laviska Shenault, who he did end up with, I think, around later in the original pick. So he might not like that, but Laviska will not be making it that far. So now Bert has, instead of J.K. Dobbins and Antonio Gibson, he has CeeDee Lamb and Laviska Shenault. That's another player who may not like the results of this draft, and that's fine with me. Callie Style, Joe Burrow. He went Joe Burrow first. No more. You've got Aaron Rodgers. You have Lamar Jackson. Why are you taking Joe Burrow here? You get Michael Pittman. You get a receiver for the future, okay? Your time's not today. Your time was not last year. Your time is the future. Now you've got Michael Pittman, and you're pairing him with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and suddenly, with Carson Wentz coming to Indy, you've got yourself a couple playmakers that could potentially have a better second year, and Michael Pittman definitely could have a better second year than rookie year. Steve, you took Tua here, no more. Now you get Gabriel Davis, not exciting name, exciting production in an exciting offense, and John Brown is gone, and Gabriel Davis will benefit from that. And I like him. If you don't know who Gabriel Davis is, check him out because he is good. All right. Portland Ducks, that's Sean. This is a Mark pick. This was taken from Mark through a trade. He originally took Michael Pittman here. Michael Pittman went 2 picks ago. So now Sean gets Joe Burrow. So Sean, you are putting Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Antonio Gibson, Chase Claypool, and Joe Burrow out there. So you didn't have to wait for Carson Wentz to be traded and all that. Plus, your quarterbacks were terrible this year. And Joe Burrow got hurt. So, again, it's a future pick, but at least this year you'd probably feel a little more secure in your quarterbacks if you had Joe Burrow and Carson Wentz coming back. So that's who you got here. Adam originally had Brandon Ayuk, great pick for the end of the second round. Now you get Jalen Reagor, not as good of a pick, not as exciting. Again, Adam's one of those guys who probably looks at this and says, no, I'll take my original draft. And I agree. With him, Adam, I agree completely. If it's CeeDee Lamb, Cam Akers, and Brandon Ayuk, I would much rather have that than James Robinson, T. Higgins, and Jalen Reagor. But it's that Ayuk and Reagor trade that makes it definite for me that I would totally take the other side, your original draft. But that's not what happens when we redraft. You lose those good players. All right, and last, I'm asking for trouble. He took Lucas. He took Justin Herbert here. Justin Herbert's now gone, and he's going to get himself a little piece of Denzel Mims. Terrible first season, pointless first season, but offense maybe better. Maybe they know how to use him better. Adam Gase, that's all you got to say. He does not have Adam Gase as his coach anymore. So excited for Denzel Mims to show what he can do. All right, round 3 of our draft. This is where the players, even with a ideal draft, I started being like, oh, God, these are some rough picks. There are good players in here, though, and there's guys with potential. First up, Sean again. He had the first pick in each round. Sean originally took Denzel Mims here. Lucas just took him in the last pick. So now he gets Henry Ruggs, another guy, underwhelming rookie campaign, but he is still really fast. He's a best ball kind of guy. He's not Deshaun Jackson. That's what I think people want him to be. He's not. He's not as good as very few people are as good at that role as Deshaun Jackson was. But you still get him here, and he is still a potential, you flex him and maybe you get lucky every once in a while. All right, Phil. Phil took Darrynton Evans, the backup to Derrick Henry. That's the most you can say about Darrynton Evans. I don't know if I didn't even put it. He's not even in my list of. I don't know if he got any carries this year. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the guy did. Instead, you're getting Darnell Mooney, Phil. You're getting Darnell Mooney, who had a surprisingly good rookie year. He finished number 8 overall rookie wide receiver, 153 points, the 51st overall receiver. And they're, other than Allen Robinson, he probably is the number 2 in Chicago. I can't remember that other guy's name right now, but yeah, I think he's a good rookie pick. All right, next up, that was Phil, not Adam. I don't know if I said Adam. That was Phil that got Darnell Mooney. So yeah, Adam originally took KJ Hamler, no more. Although I considered just keeping that one Pat again. I considered just keeping that one the same. But instead, I looked at the fact that Adam had Drew Brees and Teddy Bridgewater, and he needs some quarterbacks next year. He needs quarterback help next year. So, Adam, you get Jalen Hurts right here. And that's a Sean special right there. Congratulations. You have a very good quarterback for this next year. Maybe not NFL good, but fantasy points good. Yes, you do. So, you get Jalen Hurts now. All right, Oregon Beer Force. Originally, this is a Daryl pick that Mark acquired. He originally took DJ Dallas because it's Mark. Now he's going to get Zach Moss in the 3rd round instead of the 1st round, which is much better value. So congratulations, Mark. Bert got Laviska Shenault here, another part of a very good draft. I can only assume Bert had such a good draft because I only had 1 pick. That's the only reason Bert had such a good draft, because I wasn't there to take those players ahead of him. Anyway, so Bert took Laviska Shenault. He's gone. Now Bert's getting KJ Hamler. I don't know if that's anything. I really don't. I don't know if that's anything at all anymore. If it could be, it could be, but I doubt it. But it's there. It's there, and that's who he's taken. Next up, Cali style. JD took Thaddeus Moss here. Yeah, another one, JD. But you're getting Cole Kmet this time. So you have a tight end with actual future, hopefully. I think Jimmy Grandpa is gone, I'm pretty sure, or maybe he's still there. Who knows? It's Chicago. They have like 18 tight ends. But Cole Kmet should be their tight end of the future. So that's who you get here. Better future for sure than Thaddeus Moss. Great dad. That's where it ends. All right. Well, I don't know if he's a great dad, but he's a great football player. Okay. Next up. Pela Broncos took Anthony McFarland here. Anthony McFarland could play some in Pittsburgh this year. That could be a thing, but that's not what Steve needs anymore. I already got him Jerry Jeudy and no, that's who took over, Cam Akers. He already got Cam Akers and Gabriel Davis. So he doesn't really need Anthony McFarland now. He's got it much better in Cam Akers. So instead, you're getting Tua now. You're getting Tua in the 3rd round. In the last year's draft, you got him in the 2nd round. Much better price to pay to get him in the 3rd round. Next up, Oregon Beer Force took Eno Benjamin here. Instead, you're getting Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly, undrafted in our league, but he did finish as the number 9 rookie running back with 114 points. And if Austin Eckler gets hurt, you could be in a good spot there, Mark, with Josh Kelly. Adam, originally you took Cole Kmet at the 29th pick. He's gone now, so now you get Adam Troutman. Adam Troutman. Not a tight end that did anything this year, but right now he's like the only tight end New Orleans has, so that could be good. And then last but not least, well, it is least, last but and very much least, Lucas took LaMichael P. Ryan. And maybe that's a thing. He's still big. He's still 220 pounds, and it is for the Jets, but I imagine they're drafting a running back. Instead, you get A.J. Dillon, and you get to play the hopefully Aaron Jones gets hurt game, which is a sad game for Bert now that Bert has traded for Aaron Jones. And that's it, fellas. So draft order, the new picks, we go with Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, James Robinson, Antonio Gibson, CeeDee Lamb, Clyde Edwards, Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, J.K. Dobbins to round out the 1st round. 2nd round goes Chase Claypool, Justin Herbert, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, Laviska Shenault, Michael Pittman, Gabriel Davis, Joe Burrow, Jalen Reagor, Denzel Mims. And the 3rd round goes Henry Ruggs, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Hurts, Zach Moss, KJ Hamler, Cole Kmet, Tua, Josh Kelly, Adam Troutman, and A.J. Dillon. Let me know what I got wrong, please. And thank you for watching a 40-minute video. Troopers, you guys are troopers. Love you, Schwing Dynasty.
shoveling